We're doing this. Welcome to Kill Your Favorites. This has been a video that I have been waiting to do for quite some time now. And in lieu of current events, I'm going to try and be whatever. I'm going to try and be as civil and not as cussy as usual, because this is a kind of a topic that touches with everybody, and considering the sources and the various peoples, I guess, involved, it can be touchy and sensitive because we're talking about people that we've all grown up with. So I first want to start with a correction. In my last video, I shat a lot on Lindsay Ellis's production name, whereas I thought, see you, Milo, I thought that it was supposed to be, because it's a Z before an A, I thought it was supposed to be a slur noise, because that's usually what you're supposed to do for S's. But somebody in the comments commented that I was incorrect, so I would like to just correct that error and ensure that that is just record now, that I fucked up, I was wrong, that was not the rule, and I need to French better, apparently. So that's one thing that I fucked up on. That's probably going to be the last time I'm going to say that, though. So, forgive me, the AC isn't working in my tower because they're doing repairs, so this is actually something I need right now. But it's also a good prop. It's also a very related prop because, well, so murder your favorites. What do I mean by murder your favorites? Well, exactly what it says on the tin. One of the people that I don't like, who is a content creator, did a video on this, and it was good. And even though it didn't endear me to said comment creator, they had a good point. And I have been doing that lately. I've been doing that. I've had to do that in order to consume media lately. Everything is in, like, nowadays, everything is just contaminated with bullshit. And so it's very hard to find somebody who doesn't have problematic bullshit. Very, 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 very hard. So what are you supposed to do? Well, maybe it's the eternal optimist in me. Maybe it's the witch in me. Maybe it's just pathetic. Don't bother commenting which one you think it is. But I have this rule of thumb that every single person has at least one good thing about them. Just one. There's at least one. And you could say that about anybody problematic. And I do mean anybody problematic. You could name them, and I could probably find something. One good thing about them. And that's how I've had to approach media as of late. Like, sorry, it's starting to hurt my head. But the point's been made, I think. Like, this was something that never used to be a huge problem. Like, here I'm going to go in my, back in the day before the internet, but fuck it, here it goes. Back in the day before the internet, one of the biggest scandals growing up was, well, not growing up, but like one of the biggest scandals that came up besides Bernardo and Simpson was Clinton. And we were all affected. Like, we even in Canada, we heard nothing but this bullshit about this supposed scandal. And why am I going with this? Like, so from day one, from my earliest memories, now I remember where I'm going with this. this is why I don't edit, because what's the point, right? It's just like like listening to a lecture from an actual person. God, imagine that. Again, I'm not saying scripted shows are bad. I'm just saying they're easy to edit. So all my formative years, like my young years, like 90s, early aughts, they talked about the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton thing, and we were all trained to, like, the guy was going to get impeached for not for the reasons that he should have been impeached for that. I kind of regret. I was a kid. I was a child. I didn't know any better, but I still regret the way I approached the treatment of Monica Lewinsky. I dogpiled with everybody else, saying that she was just this big cocksucking whore trying to get her way up in the White House. I never stopped to even think that she was taken advantage of, right? But that's what I'm talking about. Like, people still say that Bill Clinton is a good president, especially compared to certain ones now. But people still see him as a good president, even though he I know she was in her 20s, but she was young. She was an intern. He was president of the fucking United States. I don't know who you are, but whatever. He also had charisma. He was also a dick. But, like, people were willing to forgive that guy, and, like, people still say he was a great president. Well, people who are kind of trying to figure out what to do now, but, like, hindsight is always sweeter. Like, rose-colored glasses, they're trying to reform fucking George W. Bush right now. Like, Ellen is apparently his best friend, which really vomits me out, because that's another video. But that's another thing, right? Like, people aren't held accountable to their errors if they are great, or if they are popular, or if they are rich, or if they are famous. So when people try to do it on their own, i.e. cancel culture, it's not seen as important enough. Like, and at the same time, people are willing to destroy somebody for one thing, just one thing, while completely disregarding the rest of their work, while at the same time propping someone up who's only had one real accomplishment in their oeuvre of work. That's where I'm having issues, because you have people now, like, it's like there's a certain time like period of time in which, like, you can't judge somebody because, they're a product of their time, right? But aren't we all products of our time? So shouldn't we like address the things as we grow, as we evolve? Like, women couldn't wear dresses for years and years and years, and now we're allowed to wear skirts and shorts and shit. Like, and now it's a norm. That took generations and generations and years and years and years and years and years. But, like, where am I going? So people are remembered either for that one bad thing or that one good thing, or they're remembered for their good things only, or their bad things only. And more lately, I've been seeing that people are, for lack of better phrasing, propping up the wrong people and ignoring the right ones. And I don't mean right aligned, I mean, like, correct. And people like I hate naming names because it just seems like I'm just trying to, like, get popular on their fame, and that's not what I want. I don't even want to be popular. Nobody's going to watch this except for, like, 100 people, and even if that, and even if they're not. The moment they see the title, they're just going to be like, nope. But you guys sure seem to like the other videos pretty well, so let's see how this one is. It's rambly, it's long, it's tired, it's not good looking, but it's genuine and it's honest. Fuck it. My air is about to go on, so just FYI. I didn't think the air would come on today. Okay. Anyway. Coming in terms with being queer and not necessarily being completely cis. That's another video. I haven't come out here on that, but check out my Twitter sometime. It has led me to look for heroes like me who don't fit into the heteronormity, into the gender norms, who are like me, right? Not only do I get shat on for using that word, even though it's been a reclaimed slur for decades, but the people who I see who are in charge are not good people. Like they're good at the talk, and they're good at flash, and they're good at pomp, and they're good at presenting and stuff like that, but they're not good people. Which is why I've made it so clear that when I comment on people on this channel, I'm talking about their content and their brand, and not their personal life and their real life, because I don't know them. I only know their brand. So people on the internet especially do not know how to separate a person from their brand, except when it comes to people who are famous, and then they just see nothing but brand and forget that they're a bad person. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. i.e. Michael Jackson, right? Shitty person, complicated past, lots of damage there on both sides. People still he's still in the Hall of Fame. People are still giving his people's money. So like, you guys can do that. What kind of cognitive dissonance do you have? It shouldn't surprise me with that. It shouldn't surprise me with Contra. It shouldn't surprise me with Ellis. It shouldn't surprise me with Philosophy Tube. And it shouldn't surprise me with all those other assholes who get money off of beating us down and then pretending to be an ally. That's what pisses me off. And I mentioned Philosophy Tube for the first time because his video about Lolita, like, not only did he not have the balls enough to actually talk like openly and say the words that it's about rape, it's about child rape, it's about like grooming, predatory grooming, murder, like pedophilia, and there's no beauty in that. And I don't like, and if you can find beauty in that, like, I know it comes across like what I just said, that there's at least one beautiful thing that every person can offer. Like, and maybe, I don't know, when I read that book, I couldn't find it. I could not find it. And I can't understand, like, except for maybe like some of the prose. Some of the prose is nice. I get that. Are we supposed to root for this guy? Like, and why can't Lolita have a voice? Like, why can't she talk? Like, why can't his darling like, she's a, like, Argh! I recommend you guys watch these videos on double speed because they're funnier that way. Especially when I do freakouts like that, because it's genuine. It's fucking genuine rage. Like, shitting on non-conforming trans women because you have the money to subscribe and pay for the binary that majority of cis women can't even get, and you shit on a trans woman for publicly getting offended for being misgendered when they're so obviously a woman, and then you claim to be offended for them offering to show a sir. I sure as fuck would show that person a sir, especially since, like, and then you go on by saying, oh, it's because I don't know why I do this, but it's fun. You guys think it's fun, right? Like, you guys see what I'm seeing, right? No, because we're not assholes and we're not bullies, except apparently a lot of you who like Contra are. I've been shat on by a lot of you for misunderstanding your queen, and I don't. I think you do. I think you misunderstand the product that you've been purchasing. And it's the same thing with Lindsay Ellis, where people prop her up as this great, like, queer inclusive, like, I know she says she's bi, and she is, but, like, she claims to be queer inclusive, and she claims to be a feminist, while showing, like, raw rape on her channel with no trigger warnings, and while, like, stereotyping and being, like, wine moms? Bitch, you drink wine. Like, you drink, like, more wine than fucking I've ever drank in, like, my entire life in 1 week. You drank. So shut up. Like, these people think that that they can say whatever the fuck they want to say because people agree with them. And in that context, they have, like, basically worshipped their creator, and they make it into, like, a kind of religion. And I don't use that term lightly because I know people do. But have you spoken to some of these people when you're trying to make a point against the person that they worship? It's madness. And they can't see the difference between the person and the brand. And their brands are rotten. And if you can't separate the person from the brand, shut up. Like, if you can't, you shouldn't be in the argument because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Every single person can make one good thing. Shitty people can make beautiful things. Beautiful people can make crappy things. I'm not saying that you have to... Don't be like these idiots. Like, if you want to enjoy the content that these people put out, like selective comment, like, I still enjoy a couple of ContraPoints videos. I still enjoy a couple of Philosophy Tube videos, right? Fine. But it's not a religion. It's not the end of the world if someone, like, has a problem with what they're saying and they're not attacking you personally. So if you can't divide a person from their brand and their personality, that's on you and not me, because I know the difference. And while every single person can probably make one good thing, a lot of you are okay with one bad person making a lot of shit and then one good thing, and allowing that one good thing to mask the shit. And that's where the problem is. Because, like, my videos are shitty. I don't put any effort. There's no script. There's nothing. It's just me rambling at a camera in my apartment while I'm alone during the day, and nobody watches them, right? Whereas, like, I get what I put out, and I expect that, and I don't expect anybody to like me or worship me, especially even if I do get famous, which I doubt. But, like, if I someday get a book published, or if I someday, like, I don't know, get a comic published, or some video on here goes viral, right? Like me for the viral thing, but not for the rest, or something. I don't know. There's no definite answer to this. There's just... Stop worshiping content creators like they're infallible. Like, oh my God. And content creators, stop acting like you're fallible and that you're the victim when you have power. When you have money and power. Like, parasocial parasites indeed. You both feed off of each other. And you have the loudest voices and the most power. And that's horseshit. And a lot of you have had to work hard to get where you are. But I've had to scratch my way up to get to this high. You have no fucking clue what real life is anymore, because you are just full of shit. So I'm gonna fucking be a cat girl, and I'm gonna be fucking queer. Die mad about it. My fucking fan.